Hello, everyone. Hopefully, you can see us live on YouTube.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us on the latest edition of Sorgi Sports Weekend. This little guy's Anthony. They're not necessarily as little as you had in some of the pictures that we had in our previous video here. I am Daddy. Thank you for stopping in and joining us. This is our special edition of What in the World
Friday.
What in the World Friday. At least that's what our theme is going to be today.
Yeah.
With the episode.
There's really the sports world is crazy right now. There's really nothing definitive happening. It's all over the place.
Oh, by far. So we want you to chime in with a whole bunch of different things as we continue this discussion. One of them is, what in the world thing that's on your brain when it comes to sports or whether it comes to anything?
Yeah,
we're keeping this a politics-free zone, just so you're aware. We're not going to dive into that whole entire world. But yeah, anything that's making you go, what in the world? Also tell us, where are you joining us from, and what's the weather like there? What are your experiences there? And tell us your favorite travel destination where you've been to, where you want to go, that begins with the letter B. We did A last week. We're going through all the alphabet as we enter this weekly Sorgi Sports Weekend series, but we're talking more than sports. Yeah. Travel is certainly one of those things. We already have a comment from fellow Wisconsinite Wayside Wade. The bathrooms at the Veterans Memorial Park. Which Veterans Memorial Park are you?
Are you talking about right on the lake?
Are you speaking of Milwaukee Veterans Memorial Park, or somewhere else? They still have not been fully cleaned. They set up the chairs tomorrow, I assume for a Veterans Day celebration, and that's about all. What in the world? That sounds exactly like what would be a perfect phone call if this was a talk show. Yeah. Of the college shows.
Yeah. So Boston, obviously. Okay. Then you gotta go to Baltimore.
Talk about his B travel destinations.
Boston, Buffalo, Boulder, Colorado to see Folsom Field would be awesome.
I have been to Folsom Field in Colorado.
Nice.
You knew this.
No, I actually forgot.
Yep. I was there in 2005 for a wedding. Some family friends of ours were getting married, and they actually asked me to do a reading at the wedding mass for this. And there was a space of time in between the wedding and the reception, and so I had the chance to take a drive between the church and the reception location, and I had time to head up to Boulder, Colorado.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I had a chance to drive the Boulder Trail. We need to check that out, definitely, at some point. Check out our Denver travel series for the game plan.
Yes.
That's places to go, spots to eat. We're going to stick some links on that in here for you so that you can definitely take advantage of our travel tips from the research we've done, because we're going to be going to Denver to go see the Brewers play the Colorado Rockies. So that's my Boulder story. What other B locations have you got?
I would say, did I say Buffalo?
You didn't mention Buffalo.
Yeah, Buffalo, because
tell us why.
Packers Bills would be awesome. To see the Bills tailgating, scenery, and then you also internationally you have the Bahamas, Barbados.
Ooh, yeah.
Brazil, Belgium.
Warm weather spots.
And also in Israel, if I'm correct. Yeah. Bethlehem.
Yep.
Would be cool.
Mm-hmm. So let me try this again as I try and link this in.
Apparently, I heard from a friend. Apparently, in Milwaukee, there's snow today.
That is absolutely correct. That snow is on its way in our hometown. We're not necessarily experiencing the snow
we had like
here in Philadelphia, but we are going to be getting colder by far.
Yeah, it's been cold, warm. Today was the 60s. I didn't even need my jacket at recess.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. Wayside Wade, you are currently nowhere near Milwaukee. Port Arthur, Texas.
Okay.
I believe that's along the Gulf Coast.
Yeah.
You can correct me if we're wrong.
I'm 90%
Wayside
sure
Wade.
that it is.
Describing the weather fantastic there. You're talking about a spot where you've been to before, I believe, the Basin of Montana. Just not right now. It's cold up there in those mountains. That is by far correct.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Beaver Dam,
Beaver
Wisconsin.
Dam, Wisconsin.
I needed to think of these, and I was trying to think Wisconsin. Oh, Beloit, I would love to see. What are, we don't even know what they're going to name the new Beloit team.
They've been the Beloit Snappers forever.
They're changing it. I would either want to see the Cheese Balls or the Supper Club.
The Cheese Curds.
Well, that's not on the list of possible of the finalists.
What in the world, Beloit Snappers? Why are you not becoming the Beloit Cheese Curds?
I like the Cheese Balls though. I like the Supper Clubbers.
That's not bad.
The Moo.
The Moo.
The Moo.
I believe the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers in the past, one of the minor league teams from the Milwaukee Brewers, they would wear cow costume jerseys, basically. So for a couple of different games for theme nights. So the Beloit Moo would be absolutely wonderful. Thank you for letting us know, Wayne. We are that Port Arthur is not too far from Galveston.
Yeah.
Not too far from Houston. Have you had a Whataburger yet, Wayside Wade? Have you had a Whataburger? Let us know. Let's see. For me,
Beaver Dam, Wayside Way probably does have some good.
You've mentioned some fantastic bee destinations. For me, I would definitely add to the list. I would specify definitely Brazil. I would love to see soccer at the Maracanã, the great stadium in Rio de Janeiro.
Yes.
Let's see. Also, for bees, for destinations, I want to go to Berlin. I want to understand World War II history.
I literally just learned about Berlin, and I didn't think about that.
World War II history of the Cold War with the split of the city for about 50 years before the Berlin Wall came down in 1989. It's about a 45-year split between the cities. I learned
about the Cold War in Germany and the Berlin Wall.
And I really want to see Olympic Stadium. Which was rededicated in honor of Jesse Owens for how he absolutely torched Adolf Hitler's ideals of Aryan supremacy and just stuck it in his face, winning 4 gold medals in that historic Olympic Stadium. Just ridiculous. We have some comments. Jacob chiming in. Berlin, Wisconsin. Now, is it Berlin or is it Berlin? Because we know New Berlin, Wisconsin. They don't say Berlin. They say New Berlin.
New Berlin.
Which makes absolutely no sense, and I love it anyway.
And I've grown up, New Berlin was not far from where we live, so New Berlin's super familiar to me.
Jacob, give us your what in the world? What's making you think that? Chris from Cincinnati, thanks for coming on and joining us again. Your thought of what's making you go, what in the world, the flight you're going on? It's been delayed on the tarmac with the passengers on the plane for 2.5 hours. Thank you for letting us entertain you during this time. Hopefully that'll help it pass by. But it's making you say, what in the world? But seeing us is a bright spot. Thank you so much. Absolutely. Let's see. Other B locations. I'm going to have to rack my brain on this a ton. I would definitely want to get to Boston. I definitely want to get to Baltimore. We're hoping to see some baseball in those towns.
Yes.
Very, very,
Baltimore,
very soon.
Possibly next year.
Possibly next year.
And we're going to be down there soon.
Boston, crossing our fingers, possibly next year. And we will be in Baltimore in 5 weeks.
5 weeks? Oh, man, I'm so excited to see the Packers play the Ravens. Actually, let's go NFL for a second.
Sure.
The Ravens lost 22-10 to the Tua Tagovailoa-less Dolphins. Jacoby Brissett. I know.
Who?
Yeah, he did play for the Colts for a short time.
What in the world?
I guess it's the luck of Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. That last night, every broadcast, I just want to.
That gives you what in the world? It's Joe Buck and Troy Aikman.
Yes, every Thursday night broadcast, like Joe Buck, I saw say he was acting like he was calling baseball, and the way he made it sound, he had to like almost correct himself, like he was. it seemed like he wasn't joking. He's like, the Marlins and the Orioles, and then he's like,
my gosh.
oh, not base.
Nice.
And Troy Aikman saying crazy stuff, Buck saying crazy. It just, there's a reason that they put. No wonder that Thursday night football's matchups are so bad too.
That's got nothing to do.
No,
with
I'm just saying it's just the matchups Thursday night are.
Wayside Wade with the B travel location. I hear Belize is nice. Ooh. Oh yes, trust me, I'd love to go to Belize. Probably starting next week, with the way the weather is about to.
Where even is Belize?
It's in Central America.
Oh, okay.
I remember that.
Oh yeah. Now I kind of
remember your geography. Joe Buck and Troy Aikman is a very sensitive subject for most sports fans.
Especially Packer fans.
Yeah, it's all over.
Sure.
It's not just Packers. I think, though, the reason is because Joe Buck doesn't look at things the way you look at things when you root for your favorite team. Harrison Sawyer, hey what's shaking? What's shaking? Joe Buck does not look at things the way that you look at things if you're rooting for your particular team. And I think we've become such a society where the information that we want coming to us, whether it's sports or otherwise, is through the colored glasses of what we want.
Yeah, that's true.
Compared to what the facts are.
You know, I used to be annoyed at Joe Buck for being biased against the Packers. I don't really think of it that much anymore. I think of it as more just sometimes I'm just saying SMA, shaking my head and some of the stuff that they say. And like every game when the Packers don't even play, I'm just like,
nice.
But it happens.
Yeah.
Harrison Sawyer, have the Rays made any moves in free agency yet? I know that the Dodgers grabbed Andrew Haney, but I know nothing else about.
Ooh, Wayside Wade chiming in. And Harrison, if you want to give us your thoughts on this, favorite B travel destinations that begin with B. Wayside Wade mentioning Bangladesh and Bangkok. I would love to go to Bangkok, Thailand, and see Thailand in general, but definitely Bangkok.
Yeah, I did see Bangladesh on a list online, and I knew nothing about Bangladesh. I think, going to be learning about that soon in school. So
that's an interesting cultural experience if you want to go there and understand other cultures. But absolutely, if you ever check out the series Kara and Nate, there's some amazing videos from Bangladesh. Check them out. Harrison saying, sadly, nothing yet from the Rays.
The Brewers hired 2 new coaches that I know nothing about, but other than that, we've done nothing either. I was hoping for some free agents, but yeah, it's pretty dead.
Now, for those who don't know Harrison Sawyer's channel, if you want to describe it.
A lot of MLB The Show content on his football channel, Madden content, awesome videos. Go check him out.
Absolutely. He's saying that he hasn't been in many beat places, mostly traveling within Florida. Hopefully, we're going to be able to get down there someday and check out some spring training. Once your spring school schedule coincides with spring training.
Please.
Which it usually doesn't, because your break tends to come around Easter, which is usually in April.
Break, yeah.
So, we're glad, Harrison, that the Brewers are taking your hitting coach, but I completely understand. We really need a hitting coach, Andy Aids. That the Brewers cost ourselves, though. I honestly think could have had the World Series if we. Jacob with a very interesting point here. Actually, the point just got retracted, but I think you were about to discuss Joe Buck and Troy Aikman and the fact that you prefer, when watching the Packers, to listen to Wayne Larrivee and Larry McCarron's broadcast. I loved working with them for so many years on the Packers radio network. They are absolute positive class acts.
Bermuda, I did not.
Yeah, Wayside Wade with a comment talking about Bermuda. And but the fact is that it's very hard to listen to your local team broadcast when watching television and have the audio sync up. And the reason is because when you watch a game on this thing, you now can get several different sources to be able to watch the game. Whether it's your over-the-air local antenna, if you use that, it's your local cable system. It is through different satellite providers, either DirecTV or Dish Network. You use what we happen to have here at home, unsolicited plug, Sling, YouTube TV, all these different methodologies in order to get the video feed for a game broadcast. If you want to listen to your local radio feed, you have all different times. Just like TV, all those different feeds come in at different times. All different radio feeds come in at different times. Whether you're listening to the game on the radio itself, your extraterrestrial radio, or your terrestrial radio, I should say, ET radio, like it's coming from another planet, but your terrestrial radio, or you're getting it on the internet, on your desktop, or you're getting it on a mobile feed.
Yeah, you can actually listen to the Packers for free on desktop.
Yeah, absolutely, if you're a Green Bay Packers fan. But the problem is, how do you get those broadcasts to sync?
Yeah.
You can't.
Well, here's the only thing. We have MLB TV so that we can see the Brewers. And on my computer, I'm actually able to sync. They have the option, Euchre's broadcast to the TV. And I love doing that.
But that's through MLB.
Yeah.
Really, if the NFL did that, they would probably only be able to do it through the site, the NFL.com site, and you're going to pay huge, huge, huge money. For all of you watching out there, what are other things that make you go, what in the world?
Yeah, by the way, we're happy, I know, to have Willie Adames. And I know that the Rays got some good pitching out of that.
Who made that point?
Harrison Sawyer.
Yeah, always identifying.
Him and the new hitting coach, Adames and the new hitting coach, reuniting, which is awesome.
Wayside Wade adding episodes 8 and 9 of Star Wars. What in the world?
Never watched Star Wars.
We're gonna work on that. I've been a bad parent that we haven't watched all the Star Wars yet. I have not watched the last episode of Star Wars. I've been up through 8. But what is it, Wayside Wade, that makes you say what in the world about it? Harrison, also one other comment. I personally like the Rays radio. That's what I listen to the most. Even when on TV, you will mute it. And you don't mind there being that space in between finding out the facts on radio and finding out the facts on TV. It does become a little bit interesting. And for some reason, you're going, what?
We got Pittsburgh playing. I don't even. This guy syncs up videos to the TV. Currently, we have the Pierogi race running, and someone won.
So we have us in the background along with us as you see some of our game watching videos. Well, I put a list together of watching games together. You can check that out here on our Sorgi Stories page. And now Harrison's explaining. Oh, you're responding, Harrison, to Wayside Wade, and actually we're responding to us saying Star Wars is your favorite movie. You can watch each movie multiple times without being sick of it. That is the only downside for sure. Absolutely. Wayside commenting, they broke some of the rules in the Star Wars universe to make the plots work. I would say they certainly did. My what in the world is a little bit more the earlier, like the 1, 2, and 3s, which were shot 4th, 5th, and 6th, but they're the 1, 2, and 3s. I don't think George Lucas, in the original Star Wars description, had races going on where they had broadcasters trying to impersonate John Madden. I really don't think that was the plan. Yep. In one of the first 3 Star Wars movies, you had races happening, and they actually had play-by-play voices acting, and it was nowhere near as good as Bob Cutlass and Daryl Cartrip on Cars, the Cars movie series. Of course, I'm referring to Bob Costas and Daryl Waltrip.
Mm-hmm. Also, college basketball starting. I'm happy that's big for us Marquette fans. Marquette, Wisconsin, Marquette, UCLA, huge game.
Yes, tonight locally Villanova is playing a late night game. They haven't even tipped off yet.
Who are they playing?
They're at UCLA.
Ooh, that's huge.
That's
for
a
the
big
Wildcats.
top 25 game. So that's going to start in about 40 minutes. That's right, Harrison. You mentioned it with the pod racing in episode 1. By the way, all of you, certainly subscribe to us. I think all of you currently watching are. Subscribe to each other.
Yes.
Help each other out. By far. But yes, the pod racing piece was where you had the commentary going like, really? This isn't the timelessness of the stories of Obi-Wan Kenobi and Luke Skywalker. The timeless lessons of that. You don't have that timelessness when you've got people trying to impersonate broadcasters of today. Wayside Wade. I didn't even know about the pod racer announced concerns. What in the world? I love it.
By the way, Harrison Sawyer, your Bucks on the road at Washington. Like, you saw from there.
Okay, your Bucks, meaning the
Buccaneers.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers,
yes.
Not the Milwaukee Bucks.
You saw the Packers. You're going to win. There's no doubt. We're crossing our fingers for the Packers to win. Rodgers still...
That's another one in the world.
Yeah, what in the world is happening, Aaron Rodgers? Like, you say you're vaccinated, and then you're not vaccinated, and then you're in COVID protocol, and now you could play, but you can't. Like, what in the world?
Certainly, and the other part of it too, when it comes to that, in a lot of ways, is okay. The punishment that the National Football League put on the Packers and put on Rodgers.
Hey,
Rodgers
way too low.
He was fined only $13,000 and change.
CeeDee Lamb, I'm pretty sure, was fined more.
On what team?
The Cowboys. CeeDee Lamb of the Cowboys receiver was, I'm pretty sure, fined more for having like his shirt untucked or something. For
a uniform violation. Had at my company, I shouldn't say necessarily for my company. It's not my place to say what their policies are, but most policies, most companies that have some sort of COVID-19 protocol like that, if you don't follow it and you are found positive and you put other employees in danger, I bet you're fired.
Well, yeah, look at like he's in a huddle with other players, and it's just way too complicated.
That's a definite what in the world thing.
Also, the Bucks, not as much what in the world. Our Milwaukee Bucks losing to the Celtics in overtime, but
tonight, great game.
In our defense, Giannis, Middleton, Lopez, and DiVincenzo all out, and we still sent it to overtime. That's impressive in my opinion.
Harrison Sawyer chiming in with a little bit of information. CD was fined more because I believe he's had one or two other fines. Still agree Rodgers should have had a bigger fine for sure.
The man's paid $40 million. Like,
yeah.
You got it. I would even fine him $1 million.
I mean,
like, you can fine him a lot of money.
If it gives you an idea, Vince Lombardi, and I'm going ridiculously old school here about the Packers.
Hey, that's fine. It's Lombardi.
He would have players that would be paid maybe $15,000 for a season. In today's money, that's probably about $100,000. You're making $15,000 for a season, and you're getting fined $500 for missing curfew. That's 3% of your salary, a little more than 3% of your salary, gone because you missed curfew. Okay, COVID violation, missing curfew.
Yeah.
You probably would have been talking about a 10% fine or so for missing curfew or for a COVID violation. Imagine Aaron Rodgers getting fined $4 million. That's sort of more what you might expect about things like that. Harrison saying Rodgers not only put his team in danger, but he also is affecting them on the possibility of the postseason. You nail it.
Very true.
They lost to Kansas City in a game that they could have won.
And let's, again, take politics out of this. A superstar quarterback in the National Football League, the reigning MVP.
Mm-hmm.
The Packers in the hunt. What's of the playoffs? They are going to get in. They're going to win the NFC North, most probably.
Mm-hmm.
But they're trying to get to the Super Bowl. They're trying to win the Super Bowl. And Rodgers not being vaccinated, that, like, getting vaccinated puts you at a competitive advantage. It's that simple. Because you're not risking yourself out and you're not risking teammates out. It's that simple.
And the risk is because they could be losing home field advantage in the playoffs, which I absolutely think they have to have if the Green Bay Packers want to get to the Super Bowl, let alone win it. Because they're going to be facing a Los Angeles Rams team that is
Von Miller,
loaded.
Von Miller and Odell?
Those Rams have stocked up the way the Packers fans wish that they could have stocked up.
Yeah, that's what we want. Like, honestly, I'm pretty sure that, like, I don't know, we probably could have got Odell, but.
Harrison chiming in, absolutely agreed, and also saying beforehand, so regardless of whether if he spreads COVID, he is still affecting them. That's why I got so upset at sports players. Like, come on, either get it, meaning the vaccine, I assume, or don't play. A la the current situation with what Kyrie Irving is facing with the Brooklyn Nets.
Yes, he can't play because the city of New York has a vaccination policy that says that athletes can't participate in games if they're unvaccinated.
And Harrison, yes, the Rams are scary, probably more scary than the Buccaneers. You're probably correct with that.
Without Odell Von Miller, that was in, like, I think that was 28-14 win over the Bucs for the Rams. So yeah, the Rams probably are going to win the Super Bowl
at this pace.
AFC is just in.
But that's one of the other things.
Crazy, whatever. Like, I don't even know what's happening on that side of.
And that's why, though, the Packers have got to get home field if they want to have a shot at getting to the Super Bowl and winning it, which means they've got to beat the Rams. They also have to beat the Seahawks this week, and they're going to have Russell Wilson back, and we're not going to know about Aaron Rodgers until tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow's going to be a big day for Packers fans.
By far. Let me tell you something, though. The franchise here in town where we live here in Philadelphia would beg to have those problems.
Hey. By the way, Eagles fans, hey, would you like Aaron Rodgers for your top 10 pick? I would do that. I honestly like that deal. Y'all doing Jalen Hurts dirty, though. You drafted, like, why wouldn't you scout quarterbacks when you have he has so much potential. He's so good. I would die to have Jalen Hurts on my team if I couldn't have Aaron Rodgers. He's so good.
Wayside Wade with a what in the world? Subway serves breakfast, yet doesn't open until 10 a.m. What in the world?
Oh, yeah. Okay, let's, can we get on the phone with Milad from Subway? Milad from Subway, that guy's a legend. But can we get...
Okay, and who's this guy?
Milad in Jersey. Awesome videos. He's got like 2 million followers on YouTube from...
A guy who works at a Subway.
Yeah, in
Jersey.
He actually got enough money to buy his parents' Subway. Okay. Now he owns it. And, yeah, he just makes videos and tells stories about Subway. And now he has like 2-3 million followers.
Well, here's the thing when it comes to breakfast. You're right. They should open earlier if they're going to serve breakfast at a Subway. But then there are people who like breakfast for dinner. Your mommy, Anana Mommy, is one of the biggest fans of the world.
I'll do that
of breakfast for dinner.
If I'm feeling pancakes for dinner, I'll do pancakes for dinner. That doesn't happen much.
Hey, Mommy, you like breakfast for dinner, right?
She's upstairs.
She's upstairs.
Yeah, we're in the basement, and I think she's on the second floor, probably not even hearing us.
Harrison, you're right. You can do videos about just about anything nowadays.
Yeah.
You are 100% correct. And that's one of the beautiful things about this thing, what we call YouTube. Absolutely. Let's see. Other what in the world things? How about the state of the Big Ten football conference?
For real, though, the West is, it's going to our Badgers. I'm putting up the dub.
Oh, go check out, by the way, if you haven't seen it, go watch our journey. By the way, at this time last week, I had no idea we were doing that.
Yeah, Wisconsin Rutgers. He surprised me. He got tickets. Wasn't like soon after we did our stream.
It was right about when you went to bed,
Yeah.
right after we did the stream last week. I decided just on a whim to check the cost of tickets to go see the Badgers play Rutgers about an hour and 20 minutes away from our home here in Philadelphia, and get him to his first Badgers game since he was really young.
Games.
And tickets were like $65 face value when they started selling these tickets. We got them for $12.
Well, yeah, it was
So go check out the vid.
Yeah, there's a lot of drama that happened. Oh, by the way, StubHub. What in the world?
Oh, so tell what happened while I was
Yeah, so we're on the ticket line at Rutgers. We're about to get our ticket scanned. StubHub, it asks for a weird access code, like that we've never seen before. We were talking, and it was this shutdown. We don't know what happened necessarily, but StubHub, like no one was getting StubHub to work. People at Rutgers, super nice and helped everyone get their tickets, and amazing experience. Wisconsin won 52-3.
You're going to see how much fun that was for us. Harrison, you mentioned it so well about how awesome college football is and how college football is so much fun.
I hope your Noles get better.
Florida State Seminoles, he's saying. Wayside Wade. People will say that they subscribe and won't even watch 3 minutes of video. What in the world? That's one of the crazy YouTube rules, that if you're going to subscribe to a channel, you must watch at least, I believe it's 4 minutes of that video. Otherwise, the subscription will not count.
Really? I did not know that.
That's how it works.
Oh, well, then that probably means that my sub has not counted for a while. Because, sometimes I'll go on, like, a quick, whether it's, I'll just see, I'll be like, oh, I'll just get back to it later. So, yeah.
Harrison chiming in with us. Late November, a great time to get college football tickets. You got tickets a few years ago for really cheap, and it was cold out, at least for Floridians. What game was that? Was it an FSU game? Was it Florida State? I would imagine that would not be a cheap ticket in the Sunshine State, because that is one of the bloodthirsty rivalries in that state. Maybe the most important rivalry in all of Florida sports, some might say.
Miami, Florida State, Miami, Florida State, they're all big rivalries.
Oh, by
and
far.
Miami, Florida State back in the 90s.
Oh, the 80s and 90s, that rivalry was like the biggest in college football, because they were constantly competing for national championships, and you had to go through the other. It was essentially a national championship playoff elimination game in the middle of the regular season.
Yeah, but back to the Big Ten East. Yeah, what in the world? You have 3 one-loss teams. In the there are 2 games I'm looking at this week. Michigan going in to Penn State, having to win, and Purdue going on the road in Columbus to play the Buckeyes of Ohio State. Those 2 matches, watch for the upset with Purdue. Watch it, because Purdue has been upsetting teams left and right. They upset Iowa. They upset Michigan State. They've been upsetting. They've upset, I think, 2 undefeated teams.
But the biggest game for Purdue this year is the one the Wisconsin Badgers would lose. Are they going to lose? I don't think so. Not until the Big Ten championship game at the earliest.
Yeah,
because otherwise Purdue can't play for the conference championship.
Well, that Wisconsin game was just a great game for us. We killed them
by far. Harrison mentioning, Florida State is sad. LOL. Their program has gone down the hill a little bit since the departure of Bobby Bowden. God rest his soul.
Yes.
FSU versus I forget who. That rhymes, Harrison. Brilliant poetry. Sometimes I come up with rhymes like that are much, much worse. So all good. But it was the week before the Gators game, so it was a bad team, which is why it was so cheap. That might not necessarily been FCS.
I'm pretty sure, I know that a lot of the time you have rival, or before the rivalry games, you have
Rutgers isn't FCS. But they're that bad, and you can get cheap tickets.
No, I'm talking about the week before the rivalry game.
I see what you're
saying.
Some teams do that.
So I don't know if that's I was looking at Georgia's schedule this year. They have Charleston Southern before Georgia Tech.
Could have been Duke, though. It could have been a year where Wake Forest was bad. They're not bad every year. They're pretty good this year.
Yeah, one loss Wake Forest. College football committee. What in the world? Y'all need to get your minds right, because this is turning into like just pure money, not who the best 4 teams are. Cincinnati is Georgia and Cincinnati are really the only 2 teams that have like any.
Oh, and by the way, when it comes to the Georgia Bulldogs football team, they have maybe the best defense I've ever seen in college football. We looked at the numbers of just what the Bulldogs are doing. If you look at points per game, teams 2 and beyond are all allowing 14-plus points per game.
14, 17 around there.
Georgia, the number 1 ranked scoring defense in America,
7.
isn't even allowing half of that.
They're not even
less than 7 points a game.
Yeah, less than 7. That's just in scoring defense, in yards per play defense. I think Wisconsin's actually number 1, but yeah, Georgia's defense is just locked down deep.
Wayside Wade with another one in the world. The Waysides in Idaho look like outhouses. I can tell you from experience, I have no experience with that. We have not yet traveled to Idaho.
That would be cool.
We're going to have to find a minor league baseball team there.
Hey, let's just go to see the blue field at Boise State.
The blue field at Boise State would be fun.
That you do not like.
Also, remembering the years when I worked in minor league basketball, doing play-by-play for the Rockford Lightning of the Continental Basketball Association, and they would play games in Idaho against the Idaho Stampede.
Ooh, I like that name.
The Idaho Stampede. I was in charge of a lot of the travel arrangements, so I'd have to make sure that they had hotels set up, arranging their flights and things like that for the team. When they would go on their road trips to play the Idaho Stampede and the Yakima Sun Kings.
Where? Oh,
Yakima, Washington.
Okay. What?
They were actually some pretty good teams.
Huh?
It's basically AAA level basketball.
I never heard of that city.
Harrison, you're remembering it now. Against Alabama State, and Florida State won 49-12. Harrison, I was the play-by-play voice of the Rockford Lightning of the CBA. I'm going to have to go back and see if I can find some of my old tapes and see if we can digitize them and get them. I would love to YouTube them just for fun, just for giggles. You've never heard much of my play-by-play.
I know that you've like done a whole bunch of haven't you done like D3 football or something?
I've done D3 football for college football play-by-play. I did the Concordia versus Lakeland rivalry.
Lakeland? Where's that?
That is up in, I want to say, Manitowoc, Wisconsin.
Oh, Manitowoc, you know.
Oh, the Manitowoc. Met Charlie Barons.
Charlie Barons,
had one of the greatest episodes I have ever seen of his. Go check it out. He had a mini episode where I believe it was, what's that? I never watch it, but that Korean
Squid Game. I haven't watched it.
It was a Squid Game episode where he lost, and instead of being killed, was forced to become a Detroit Lions fan.
Yeah, the Eliminator guy. I haven't watched it, but I know the general concept. The guy puts a bag over his head, which is a Lions fan thing. I could have dressed up as that for Halloween. If I was in Wisconsin, people would get the joke.
And we got to give love to our guy, Jay Scott Smith, my coworker, KYW News Radio, a Detroit native. We talked Lions while we were at the office this week. He has suffered through so much, and yet
he's gonna get the number 1 pick though. If they just tank 30, if they go 0-17, they get the number 1 pick.
Wayside Wade telling kids to stay away from free candy in vans, and now have trunk or treat. What in the world? Oy.
Yeah, this trunk or treat thing, I guess, was bigger in COVID, where you go to people's trunks and
I get you.
Grab candy, but
yeah, that could be a little dangerous.
Yeah,
depending upon who's doing it. Yeah, Harrison, I've never watched Squid Game.
He told me not to, so I'm.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of content that's not the best for kids, certainly. Let me see. What other one in the world? I got a perfect one in the world.
Here we go.
The New York Mets are reportedly, I believe it's John Heyman who's reporting this. So if it's not, I apologize. They reportedly are going to leave the job of president of baseball operations open for all of 2022, just so that when the contract is over for Milwaukee Brewers president of baseball operations, David Stearns, or is he VP of baseball operations? Either way,
he's the president.
For him to be able to, at the end of his contract, leave Milwaukee and get the job in New York in his hometown. They would rather have no one on the job so that they can get their guy next year.
Let me say this. I know he's from New York. Even if I was from New York and I was with the Brewers, I would rather stay with the Brewers than go to the Mets. The Mets have turned into the semi-laughing stock of the league. They can never make it past. They can never make it in the playoffs. They just turn into a laughing stock.
The Mets are becoming like the Detroit Lions or Chicago Bears of Major League Baseball.
They're the Knicks.
That's
they're
true.
The Knicks. They're both in New York. They're the Knicks. That's what
they
they
have the same color scheme.
Yeah, they literally have the same color.
Blue, orange with black trim. And that is so sad for a city like New York.
And you have the Nets, though. You have the Yankees.
Yes.
And you have the Jets. Mike White. Give it up for him.
There's another team that they're like, the New York Jets. But when you put so little investment into winning and you have the resources to be able to, at the snap of a finger, purchase the rights to players that can immediately contend for a championship, and you do that, you tell your fans, we are tanking so badly that we're not even going to have leadership in our baseball operations for a year. If I'm David Stearns, why would I want to be part of an ownership like that?
Yes.
Why?
Yeah, and if I'm Mark Antanasio from New York, this one too. I'm laughing at this point.
I know.
Because everyone is. Like David Stearns, I would literally be like, you want me to come to the Mets?
And I guarantee you, Mark Attanasio, the owner of the Milwaukee Brewers, will outbid Mets ownership to keep Stearns if necessary.
He'll put big money. Whatever it takes. Because David Stearns, without him, the success the Brewers have had isn't possible.
Intelligent general managing. If you put in like a million or two investment a year into an intelligent general manager, that pays the dividends of the type of salary that you can save because you're doing things right by like $10 million a year.
Yeah.
It's worth making the effort. Wayside Wade. Some people are all upset about Paul Rudd being named, I believe that's People Magazine's sexiest man alive. Oh, right. I know. Let's see. I won't broach the subject too much because it's family audience here. But yes, absolutely. Some guy named what is it? Yes.
Paul Rudd.
No, I think we're talking about The Rock.
Oh.
Yeah. So there goes that.
Yeah.
Thank you, all of you, for joining us on Sorgi Sports Weekend.
Oh, yeah. That's what's happening. The computer.
Turn out the lights. The party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night. The party's over. And tomorrow we'll start again. Or next week. Same time.
Yeah, we have no idea what just happened. Our light just went out. The mouses, we have a mouse that's running across.
You don't have to tell the world that.
I know, but we have computers going out, and this is madness.
This mouse is causing issues. But thank all of you for joining us here on Sorgi Sports Weekend. Check out our videos on our channel. Check out each other's channels and support them big time. Next week, Tuesday, we're going to pivot a little bit. And we're going to tell the story of our move from Milwaukee to Philadelphia.
I didn't even know that was happening. Awesome.
Yep, it's going to be, I believe, at least a 4-part series.
Awesome.
For Little Buddy, I'm Daddy.
So long from Sorgi Story Studios in Philadelphia.
Turn out the lights, the party's over.